This is 5.8, lesson 1, and for this lesson, we are going to solve systems of equations using substitution in word problems. So our first example says, at a restaurant, it costs $8.03 for an order of nachos and 2 drinks. It costs $18.42 for 3 orders of nachos and 3 drinks. At that restaurant, if you and some friends purchase 4 orders of nachos and 5 drinks, what will be the total cost? So the first thing that we need to figure out are our unknowns, what we don't know about this problem. And the 2 things that we don't know are the cost of the nachos and the cost of the drinks. So we're going to say C is our cost, or I'm sorry, let's do N. N is the cost of our nachos, and D is the cost of our drinks. Now looking at our first sentence, we see that it costs $8.03 for 1 order of nachos and 2 drinks. So $8.03 is our total, and I have 1 order of nachos, and I have 2 drinks. So there's my equation. Our second sentence says it costs $18.42 for 3 nachos and 3 drinks. So $18.42 is a total, and we have 3 nachos and 3 drinks. Now that we have our 2 equations, we can use substitution to solve. So looking at our 2 equations, neither one of them has a variable that is isolated. So that's what we need to do first. And the variable that's easiest to get by itself is going to be the n in our first equation because it doesn't have a coefficient. It doesn't have a number in front of it. So we're going to rewrite this problem. And in order to get n by itself, we're going to subtract 2d on both sides. So we get negative 2d plus 803 equals n. Now that I have this information, since this is solved for one variable, I get to plug this in for the letter n. And we need to plug it in for n in our other equation. So we're going to rewrite our second equation. We're going to say 1842 equals 3 parentheses negative 2d plus 803 plus 3d. First thing we're going to do to solve is to distribute. So we have 1842 equals negative 6d plus 2409 plus 3d. We can combine our like terms to get 1842 equals negative 3d plus 2409. To get d by itself, we'll subtract 2409 on both sides. So that's going to give me negative 5.67 equals negative 3d. We will divide both sides by negative 3 to get 1.89 as our d. Now in order to find n, we need to plug in 1.89 either in my first blue equation, my second green equation, or my first equation that I changed. And I'm going to pick this one. It's going to be the easiest to plug in. So we have n equals negative 2 times 1.89 plus 803. This is going to give me that n equals 4.25. So applying this to our situation, this means that drinks cost $1.89 and nachos cost $4.25. Now, if we were to find out how much 4 orders of nachos and 5 drinks would cost, all we would have to do is take 4 times the cost of our nachos plus 5 times the cost of our drinks and just multiply, add them up, and we'll get our answer. Number 2 says that the regional baseball finals, admissions for students was $3.50 and admission for adults was $5. There were 202 people in attendance, and $830 was brought in from ticket sales. How many adults and how many students were in attendance? So the 2 things that we don't know are our number of adults, which we can say is our A, and our number of students, which we can say is our S. Now this one is not as straightforward as our first example because it doesn't look like we have two different situations to write an equation from. However, we still do have two things that we're talking about. The first thing that we're talking about is cost, and the second thing that we're talking about is the number of people. So when looking at this word problem and I'm trying to find my costs, our important pieces of information are that students cost $350, adults cost $5, and $830 was brought in. So that means $830 is my total. If students are $3.50, I'm going to say it's $350S plus $5 for adults. Then when I look at my word problem for number of people, the only thing that we see is that there were 202 people in attendance. Okay, all the other ones are costs. We're not going to include the other numbers in the second equation. So if I think about the number of people in attendance, I could just say that if I added together my adults that were there and my students that were there, I'm going to get a total of 202 people. So my equation is going to be A plus S equals 202. Now we can solve this by substitution. Using the equation on the right, our green equation, is going to be easier to get one variable isolated, or one variable by itself. And I'm going to go with getting A by itself. Either one is fine. They will work the same way. They're just as easy as the others. So we're going to say A is negative S plus 202. So now I get to plug this in for A in my blue equation. So we're going to rewrite this. We have 830 equals 3.5S plus 5 times negative S plus 202. 830 will equal 3.5S. We will distribute, so that's a negative 5S. And then 202 times 5 is 1,010. We can combine our like terms so that we get 830 equals negative 1.5S plus 1,010. We will subtract 1,010 from both sides. So 830 minus 1,010 is negative 180 equals negative 1.5S. We will divide both sides by negative 1.5. So that's going to give me 120 is my S. Now I can plug this into any of these three equations, but either this one or my green one's probably going to be the easiest. So I can say A equals negative 120 plus 202, and that's going to give me 82. So applying this to the situation, we have 120 students and we have 82 adults.